Greetings and salutations. It's David Duford here at DeFord Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents nationally to sell things like final expense, Medicare, and annuities, both face-to-face and over the phone. I've got a couple of friends in the business, brothers that are in the business together, Mr. Stefan and Frank Brenna. Say hello, guys.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for having us.
Yeah, they are here, as I had talked to them, with the preposterous claim, but you'll find out not so preposterous, of them being able to write $168,000 between the two of them, just these two guys, in a short matter of 65 days. And the purpose of this video is to explain to you guys out there how they were able to do it. And unlike a lot of these videos where you interview some, just absolute enigma, this is something, this, I guess you could call it a strategy or a trick even, to write a lot of business. And when I say trick, it's completely legit, that you guys will want to know about, that you can actually duplicate. So this is a little different than those crazy amounts of premium written type of videos where it's like, wow, that's incredible, wish I could do that. This is something that you might be able to duplicate on your own. And as we go through this conversation, you're going to learn more about what this thing is and learn how you may be able to do the exact same thing. So, geez, guys, Frank, Stefan, where do I start? How were you able, I guess there, to write so much business in so short of a time? Frank, you want to kind of start?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I know it sounds it sounds like what are you guys doing? But the reality is, you've had me on here a couple times, and I've talked to you about that I'm a builder, that I build, I produce, but I'm a builder also. At the end of the day, none of this would have happened unless loss occurred. And when I talk about loss, when you guys are in this and you're building and you're trying to build an agency and a business, attrition is part of the game. That's going to happen. And it happened to me in the form of COVID, right? Dead center in COVID. And then I lost one of my stars to the competition. And needless to say, it hurt. Let's just say that hurts, David. And in that pain, I found a lot of strength. And let me go through that. One of the things that is very hard to do is to take a punch and then get back up, right? And that punch was in the form of 45 people leaving my agency within a matter of a week.
Yeah.
So I said to my trusted partner, which it's the best thing to ever do, is to have your brother, if you have a chance, your family member, to work with you. And he is one of the major reasons we hit all our goals. Is Mr. Stefan Brennis, $1 million agent. I said, brother, I'll let him tell you guys instead of me saying it, but pretty much, Stefan, turn it over. What happened, man?
Oh, you were doing so good. Thank you, David, for having us on on your program. My name is Stefan Brennis, licensed since 2018. Started doing this business part time, but long story short, my brother came to me. He had a significant loss in revenue recently during COVID, and he's like, "I have a system. I don't want this to ever happen to me ever again, Stefan."
Right.
My brother has a background in tech. He's a vice president of a company. He's very experienced in the mobile tech ad space, but that's not his wheelhouse. But through countless hours of research, my brother goes to bed at maybe 2 in the morning, wakes up at 5. He rarely sleeps. He's always, what can I do to get better? What can we do to grow? So he has that, all out, urgency, the utmost urgency to grow. So through countless hours of research, he found a system, a developer, where he can create a system that literally multiplies you by 10. Haven't you guys ever said, hey, I wish there was another person just like me. I wish I could duplicate myself. Well, this system just that exactly. Right now, as we're talking to you, I just finished from an appointment, so excuse me, I'm in my car. I got another text saying that there was another appointment that was booked, and that was all through automation. Literally, we are talking to thousands of potential clients right now as we speak. So he approached me with this, and I'm like, how much is it going to cost? Let's do it. I trust you. We're all in. And voila, here we are. So Frank, I'll let you take it over from there.
Yeah, I think you kind of let the cat out of the bag there, David.
Yeah, this is the what you guys have called the set, show, sold system. And a little bit of hint at what this is, but Frank, can you kind of give us a rough overview? Because this system, and you can explain to the extent that it's been responsible for
Sure.
such great production from you two the last couple of months. What does this system do, and why is it special?
Well, one of the things that I noticed in the industry and as a whole, and there's a huge void for the agent. Nothing's really agent centric. And one of the things that I noticed was, if I'm going to have attrition, so be it, but I'm going to make it so that there's no hiccups in my revenue. That was the problem to solve, right? And I'm not just saying hiccups. Sometimes it's vomit, right? You're like, my gosh, this person left. I got to make up $100,000 a month or whatever it is. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to build a system that no matter what, it was steady Eddie with the income. I mean, with the revenue coming in, with the touches coming in. Because at the end of the day, I'm not a marketer. Stefan's not a marketer, but what we're really good at is being in front of that client. And if I could get consistent at bats, not high highs, low lows, you know, the guys, you guys know the agents that they make a great commission that week and then they kind of take the rest of the month off. I'm not talking about that. That's not what we intended. We wanted to take 10 to 15 agents and we wanted to basically give them a system that they can flourish and it can be consistent, because you rather have consistent activity than no activity and high highs and low lows. And that's what the system did, number one. And then the second thing it did, it leveraged the 5 levels of communication, or the 5 layers of communication, right? What is that? Well, voicemail, phone call, text, IM, email, all those. Hey, it's 2021. Why aren't people in this industry communicating in that fashion? Right? I mean, think about that for a second. These companies are spending millions and millions of dollars on leads and getting their target right. Right? They're spending millions. They actually know it. Okay, it's gonna be a 50 plus, all this stuff, right? And then they're entrusting the agent, us, to go out and sell after we've invested a whole bunch of money in doing that. Here you go, agent. Here's a lead. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to treat it as that baton as it was being passed on to the agent, that they had the same power and leverage and technology to do this. And once we tested it out, it was ridiculous. Give you an example.
Before that, let me interject just to make sure my audience is following you. This is a system for producing agents. I know you kind of started talking about how you lost your agency, but that was the motivation. It's like, I lost so much revenue. How can I prevent ever being kind of like, caught on my back again, right? So you created this system in a producer's type of sense to maximize the value out of their existing lead system, the leads they're buying and the leads that are old or age or something like that. So far, so good, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
So keep going, continue.
Yeah, and so what I notice is most agents, maybe they follow up 1 or 2 times, and then in sales, you guys know that the sale is done at 85% of sales are done at the 8th time. So it's not good enough. So why not automate the mundane? I'm not talking about blasting, but I'm talking about automating the mundane so that you can have more at-bats, regardless of the lead. We've had leads that are 30, 60, 90-day-old leads that have been reactivated through the system. And literally, like Stefan says, as we're talking, the system's working for me. So I don't feel the need and be desperate to make calls right now. But it's my Friday. I got to make 150 phone calls today to get 4 appointments. I don't need that urgency. So what I've done is what a lot of people in this business will do when they get it is they hire a call center, right? We got dialers, I got a call center. And these are guys that are making tons of money. Well, that's what we've done. Exactly. If you think about it, that's what we've done.
So wait a minute. Now I can hear the chorus of objections from people listening to this.
Sure.
Software, automation. I'm a salesperson, not a programmer or a coder. Why would somebody want to buy a product that they got to sit down and code all this stuff, Frank?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Again, there's a book out there called Don't Make Me Think, or something like that. And I remember when I was in college, I read that book. The most important factor in any software, it's gotta be don't make me think. Basically, turnkey, as turnkey as possible, because we're not marketers. Oh, we'll create a funnel. Yeah, have you ever tried that? Right? By the time you're done trying that, your sales go where? Southbound, right? So that's the key. It's got to be simple enough that it's literally George Foreman. I hope I don't get sick, but I have a George Foreman plug and play, or set it and forget it. Okay, that's it. That's it. You grab a
And
lead.
David, to answer that concern to the audience, I am not a technical person. I'm the guy that, okay, tell me to do it, I'll do it. I won't question it. I'll get it done. I'll do the best I can do. And that's how most salespeople are. It's tunnel vision, right? Short-term memory. You lose an appointment or you lose a sale, you get back on it and do it again. So I can tell you, I can testify that it is 100% plug and play. All you got to do is just drive the car.
So Stefan, what you're saying is, and you've been working the system, running appointments, seeing the people, working life leads. What you're saying is that you didn't have to code anything. You didn't have to sit down here like some of these other systems out there, right? Where you got to come up with the whole sequence of events. This thing is plug and play. It's set it and forget it, like Frank says, correct?
100%, absolutely. Now, you can obviously, the system is programmed with automated responses, but at any time you can jump in and accelerate that, right? So, but it's going on behind the scenes. If you want to jump in, there's something that automation is not going to answer in time. If someone's really, really hot, then you pick up the phone and call them, right? If you're interacting with them. So that's when you have to be able to drive the system. And that's super, super important. I think Frank is going to touch on that, because the system doesn't sell for you. You have to have the sales ability to recognize that person's level of interest and just jump on it, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's the beauty of it, guys. It's not for people. It's not going to do the selling for you. You have to have the skill to, obviously be proactive. Other than that, I mean, it's literally plug and play.
So Frank, Stefan said something about you expanding on a point on that. Feel free to jump in.
Well, yeah, one thing that I've noticed is, I mean, do I have to do anything? I mean, do I have to? Well, obviously, look, if you're a good salesperson, it's going to make you great. Okay. And what I said is you have a gold mine sitting there already. Use it. How many times have you followed up with it? We have a top agent that literally just buys really, really top end leads and does very well. And I asked him once, I said, hey, do you ever follow up with these? He's like, I'm too busy, man. I don't need to. So imagine now leveraging a system that while you're busy, it's doing the follow through for you. And as Stefan said, you could step in anytime. Matter of fact, you can make calls through at any time. Again, it's one centralized location to leverage those 5 layers of communication, man. That's all it is. Again, welcome 2021. That's what we wanted to do.
The way I've looked at this, when you guys are describing this to me, I try to make the complex simple in my training.
Sure.
This is a money machine. I mean, that's what this ultimately is. I would rather call this the money machine for agents, because that's what it ultimately is. You put the leads in that, because you're so busy and you're working your fresh leads, you don't have an opportunity to go back to and warm up, as well as your new ones. And you get something out of it you otherwise wouldn't have gotten, because the system automates the whole process and does tasks, the mundane stuff, but time consuming stuff that you don't have the time to do.
Right.
I think, go ahead.
No, that's exactly it. I mean, I couldn't say it any clearer or better. It's exactly what it's meant to do. And by the way, just as an FYI, the perception was I lost a lot, and then I went back and I was up 10%. in that year because we implemented the system. It was phenomenal looking back at those records, in your mind, how everything, if you get a cut, it looks like it's a huge cut, but in reality, it might be just a little cut kind of thing.
And this is during COVID too, David.
Yeah.
But, just to reiterate, sorry, the plane going by. I'm in Las Vegas, trying to build an agency here actually as well. Most agents get weekly leads. Every week, it's a fresh set of leads. What are the chances of you going back? If you're getting fresh 20 or 15, 20 or 30 fresh leads a week, of going back and trying to call the ones that you couldn't get a hold of the first week or the week prior. I mean, you maybe do it maybe once, maybe twice. A great agent will do it 3 times, but do they really have that time? No. So for the leads that you couldn't get a hold of, you just dump them in the system, and literally you're going to see appointments being booked on their own. It's amazing. I mean,
let me ask this, because again, I think what my audience, again, I try to think what they're thinking to some extent. I don't know if I'm successful at it, but I think what would be helpful for them to understand this and the benefits of this better is look back the last 30 days you guys have been running the system. Again, you guys did 168 grand AP combined in 65 days. Give me an example of a case, or more if you have them, one's enough though, of one you closed for no other reason than using the system. If you can kind of describe in that process what the system
absolutely. I have one.
Yeah.
I have one. Absolutely. I won't name her name, but literally, send me a message back saying I was never contacted. And I know dang well we contacted them. But most people, what we found out with studies, 90% of people will not pick up the phone. Only 10% will. And that 10% is another generation. Okay, let's just face it. So what we found out was when this lady said that to me, she's like, do me a favor, send everything through me through text message. I'm like, that's weird. So I did. I said, I'll follow up with you on Monday. This was on a Friday. That Sunday, she goes, I want to take the 30-year, because I do mortgage protection. I want to take the 30 years, Frank. Can we do it Monday at 8 a.m.? I mean, just like that. I was on the phone with her, did everything virtually, and I was able to, give her that. There's countless examples of that.
Yeah, David, we literally have case proof of like over, I don't know how many we're at, Frank. I mean, just the deals are, for example, I had a client, it was a lead that was 8 months old, couldn't get a hold of her. She actually said no to me 3 times in the text, and not to me, through my automated system. She thought she was talking to me, set up an appointment. She no-showed me twice. She ended up getting a Plan Right Foresters for $2,400. Okay, and that was over 20. I think it was over 36 contacts, if I remember correctly.
No, it was 48. It was 48.
Okay.
It was 48.
I mean, something ridiculous. I mean, as human being, that's impossible for us to do. Maybe 5 contacts, and then we're like annoyed at ourselves for annoying somebody that many times, right?
And you're saying to me that those 48 contacts, that was all automatically done. The system did that to produce this outcome. Of course, you had to go sell and convince her to buy, but up to that point, those 48 was because of an automated system that you guys are running.
90% of it was. 90% of it was. A couple of times, I helped. I helped push it along the way.
Sure.
But it was amazing because you'll see when they first looked at the text, and you'll know. And this was in a time frame of 3 months. So it's like, okay, just let the system do the heavy lifting.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It was incredible.
So Stefan, this is what I liken it to, David. You have a skateboard. If you don't push that skateboard, guess what? It's not going anywhere. So, but once inertia hits, right, you're good. The physics take over, but then you give it a little push. And that's exactly what this is. Imagine having 96% lead resolution. What would that look like for your business? What do I mean by lead resolution? That you've contacted every single person on your lead that's requested to see you. Even if you get a no, at least you know. No, NO versus KNO.
Frank, you know what? Let me say this, guys. For the sales guys out there, the most frustrating thing is the unknown, right? No,
Yeah.
no, give me a yes or a no, kick me in the face, spit on me. Great. Okay. Awesome. At least we know, right?
Right.
Yes, no. You want to just throw that file, throw that paper in the trash. Awesome. You have resolution. And what this system does, it collapses the timeline because if you can't get a hold of someone, it'll tell you, no, I'm not interested, or no, no way. Perfect. Great. At least you heard it. The worst thing from a sales rep is not knowing. The unknown is the most frustrating. And this system collapses that timeline. And it's beautiful because you know where to focus on the ones that are interested, the ones that are buyers, the ones that are hot. You're literally checking the temperature without you having to pick up the phone and call.
That's
It's
right.
completely powerful.
So tell me what kind of agents are best suited for this program, as far as the kind of niche they focus on or the products they sell?
I'd say, I mean, for right now, it's, final expense and mortgage protection. Obviously, we're gonna branch out to medical, to Medicare, but right now, just those specific verticals per se. And if you're a new agent, you gotta cut your teeth. Listen to me. It's not gonna do it for you. I've had two people using the software that had very little experience in sales, and they're like, I'm getting, oh, by the way, the byproduct of this is you're getting inbound calls, which never happens in sales. Never happens. We're getting inbound
Best
calls.
leads ever, right?
Yeah. So now they're like, well, I'm getting all these inbound calls. I don't know what to do. I said, well, that's not my problem. That's like, you got to learn sales 101 at that point. So if that's you, it's not for you. It's absolutely not for you. It's not.
Okay, can I say something? I was the guinea pig, right? And Frank goes, okay, guys, Frank, Stefan, we're going live. And okay, all right, I'm ready. Literally, David, in less than an hour, I have 40 inbound calls. I had to shut the system off. I'm like, I can't do this because we didn't know who was calling in.
Right.
But Frank, at that point, through trial and error, we're like, okay, Frank designed a whisper. So when someone calls in, it tells you mortgage protection, tells you the name of the client, it'll tell you the loan amount.
Perfect.
And it's amazing. So and then once you're in the system, you just go to the chat and you'll know exactly who's calling you. You'll have all the information right there within seconds. So we didn't have that. So at first I was like, oh my God, you just get completely overwhelmed. And then from there, we designed an inbound script, and all the scripts, everything is right there at your fingertips, literally right there. So if you don't know the scripts, click on scripts, boom, you can read the script for inbound calls. It's completely turnkey and completely thought out. I mean, it's really cool.
And just a side note here, you guys could be watching this well into the future as we filmed it. Right now, we mentioned the verticals that are available, mortgage protection and final expense, but there's liable to be more. So we'll talk more about again, there should be some links here that we'll discuss soon, but you can find out more of what's available at that time in case you're watching this in the future. Frank, what other benefits does the Set Show Sold system provide agents beyond kind of what we've talked about so far?
I mean, the most precious thing we have in this life is time.
Yeah.
I mean, literally had agents tell me I can now have breakfast with my family. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, guys, at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. We make a bunch of money all of a sudden, we don't have time to enjoy it, right? And then now we're just, I literally had agents thanking me. I get a bunch of letters thanking me for them having their time back with their children. I had this one gentleman, this is a pretty cool story. He always buys the aged leads, okay? And he'd always phone call every single day. And he told me when he started using the system, I don't know what to do with myself, Frank. I said, what do you mean? He goes, do the IPA. I'm like, what do I? Income producing activities, man. This is going to free up time for you now. You don't need to be grinding. Like, you can, but go to dinner with your wife, buddy. Like, he's like, I can. It was incredible. So if I'd say anything for you, the agent, that's been pretty good right now, imagine being better. And that's all the system's going to do for you. That's it.
So last question here before we wrap it up and tell everybody where they can go to find out more. Who is this system not for? We've talked a lot about who this is appropriate for. I think those of you watching this probably have a good feeling if it's appropriate for, but this isn't right for everybody. guys. Frank, Stefan, what's your thoughts on who shouldn't even consider this type of product?
I'll let Stefan answer that. I mean, he knows.
Well, I mean, look, it's very simple. I mean, if you're competitive, if you are a proactive, if you're a go-getter, then I'd say the system's going to work for you. It's going to amplify, it's going to duplicate you, right? So, but if you're the type of person who likes to analyze everything and doesn't, analysis by paralysis, then I think maybe you should get some sales under your belt. Okay. And then once you build out the confidence, and definitely the system, right? It's for people that also, what it does, it gives you the work-life balance. People talk about it all the time, that higher level, higher law stuff, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Self-actualization. Well, this system allows you to do that as you are working and building your agency, which is amazing. I mean, work-life balance is only to the people that are, have like 7-figure incomes. You can actually do it in a smaller scale with this system, and it allows you that time without feeling guilty, which is Frank was alluding to. You can actually have dinner, have breakfast with your family on, Saturday mornings, on Friday mornings, where otherwise you feel guilty because you're not on the phone dialing. So it gives you that balance. So in a roundabout way, it's for people that really want to take this business serious and earn a passive income and never have to work for anyone ever again. It's not for people that don't really want to take it serious, but if you can close business, if you're proactive, it's definitely for you.
Frank, anything you want to add that?
Yeah, I think like Stefan said, just think of yourself, but enhanced or duplicated. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you're a good salesman, it's going to make you a great salesman. That's it.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. This is super cool. When you guys approached this to me and I got to look at how it worked, it totally blew my mind because there's nothing like this on the market. There's things that try to be, but aren't. And the most important thing I can think of is that this is designed to be plug and play, where you don't have to think, like you said, Frank. You just deploy it, and then you get the best problem in the world. Too many people to talk to, right? Hopefully.
Yeah.
As long as you put in the leads and do your work. And if you're good at what you're doing, you're just going to get better because you have now more opportunity yielded from what you weren't able to work because you're human and you only have so much time. So if you guys are interested in learning more about this, here's what you need to do next. There's going to be a link above me and below me. It should take you to some kind of informational web page, maybe a webinar or something to go into more detail about how the system works so you can learn more about the details and decide for yourself if it's right for you. And if you have any comments or questions about how this works, leave them below. Either myself, Stefan, or Frank will be happy to answer those comments. And of course, if you like this content, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. And guys, thank you for being here. And audience, thank you for watching.
Thank you, Mr. Dufer.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome. Bye.